Hey everyone, and welcome back to our JavaScript beginner course. In the last episode, we explored operators and expressions, how to perform calculations, compare values, and use logical operations. If you missed it, you can check out the link in the description. But now, let's dive into something fundamental in programming, that is control structures. These are what allow our code to make decisions and execute different actions based on conditions. So let's get started. What are control structures? Control structures help us to control the flow of our program based on conditions. Imagine you have a self-driving car. It needs to decide when to stop, when to go, or when to turn. And in JavaScript, we make these decisions using if-else statements for simple decision making and switch case statements for when you have multiple choices. So let's start with if-else statements first. So this is the format of the if-else condition in JavaScript. There is a condition inside the parentheses after the if keyword, and then a block of code to be run if the condition is true, which is enclosed inside the curly braces, and then an else keyword, and then a block of code to be run if the condition that is stated above is false. So if this condition is not true, the else block of code will be run. So let me demonstrate this with a small example in the compiler. Let's say I have a variable called let age equals 18 for now. So if the condition is age is more than or equals to 18, console.log you can vote, and else it should print you are not old enough to vote. So how this works is, if the age is greater than or equal to 18, this block of code, that is the console.log you can vote, will run. Else the console.log you are not old enough to vote will run. So let's see what happens here. As expected, it will output to you can vote, and if I change this value to 17, the else block of code will run and it will print you are not old enough to vote. This is the result because the condition that we have stated inside the if block, that is age is more than or equal to 18, is not true, since we have set the value of age to 17 and 17 is not more than or equal to 18. So the else block of code is run and it will output to you are not old enough to vote. And this is the if-else condition in JavaScript. Now, what if we have multiple conditions? That's where else if comes in. In JavaScript, the else if condition has the following format. The if condition and the else condition are essentially the same, but if we want to check for another condition to be true, we add an else if block. That is else if keyword and a condition inside the parentheses and a block of code to be run if this condition is true. And if all of the above mentioned conditions in else if and ifs are false, the else block is executed. So the block of code to be run if all the conditions above are false. And I'm going to give you an example of this as well. So let me delete this and then write let score equals 85. Let's say we have to develop a grading system to print out the grade according to the score. So we have to set up multiple conditions. First of all, if score is more than or equal to 90, it will print out console.log grade is A. Else if the grade, I guess score, is more than or equal to 80, it will print out console.log grade is B. Similarly, else if score is more than or equal to 70, console.log grade will be grade C, and let's say anything below 70 is a failing grade, so else console.log you have failed. So let's see what is the output for this code. As expected, 85 is more than or equal to 80, so this condition is true, so its respective code block will be run, that is console.log grade is B, so grade is B is printed. And if we set the score to 95, it should output to grade is A, and if it's anything below 70, for example 50, it should output to you have failed. So this is how you handle multiple conditions in JavaScript through the if, else-if, and else statements. Now let's take a look at the switch case statement. Sometimes we may have many possible cases like the days of the week or menu options, and instead of writing multiple else-if conditions like such, we can use a switch case. So the format for a switch case is as presented. There is an expression inside the parentheses after the switch keyword, and inside the curly braces we have multiple cases that can be executed, multiple cases and their corresponding code to be executed, and if none of the cases match, we have a default case and its code to be executed. Also, you might have noticed the break statement being used after each code block, and this is really important because the break statement stops the execution of the switch statement after a matching case is found, which means if case 1 or value 1 is matching with the expression, this code will be executed, but if the break statement isn't here, the next case statement will also be executed. So in order to prevent that, we should use the break statement, and I'll demonstrate this through an example. So if I type out switch, let's say declaring a variable called day equals Tuesday. So switch and then day case 1, let's say Monday. If it is Monday, let's print out console.log it is Monday, and let's add a break statement, that is break, and another case which is case for if it is Tuesday, case Tuesday console.log it is a Tuesday. A break statement again, we should not forget this. And let's say we have two cases where it should be called a weekend. So Saturday and case Sunday. So you can use the same code block for two codes or two cases. Console.log it is a weekend, and then break, and let's say a default value, so default console.log just a regular day. So let's run this code and see what it outputs. So since it is the day's value is Tuesday, the matching case is this one, so it executes this corresponding code block and prints out it is a Tuesday. And if I were to change this value to Sunday, let's see, it outputs it's a weekend. And even if it is Saturday, it'll still output it is a weekend. So you can apply multiple cases and execute the same code for multiple cases in this way. Now let's see if we omit this break statement right here, what will happen. So let's say I change this case to a Tuesday once again, and let's see what's the output. So as you can see, it is a Tuesday is also printed, but this case, even though it is not matching with our variable, this code is being run since it is propagated down here. And this is called falling through to the next case. So that's why it is important to include the break statement inside the case statement or case block. So this is the switch case statement in JavaScript. If none of the matching value is present, so let's say Wednesday, and we should add a break statement right here, it should output to just a regular day, because this is the default value if none of the cases match. And with that, we are done with the topic of control structures for this episode. And as always, we have a mini challenge for you guys to try out. We have this code right here, and you can put your answers on what will be the output of this code in the comments below. In the next episode, we'll be discussing about loops, so make sure you tune in to know what loops are and how they work. And if you like the video, drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. So see you guys in the next one.